we were founded in 1982 by our now managing director's dad. It originally started as a retail experience in Bradford, where it was the destination in North where you could go and try any of hundreds of pairs of running shoes, football boots, court shoes, etc. And that's where the SportsShoes DNA was founded as a specialist retailer for sporting goods. After that, there was a very successful mail order business, and then we rode the wave of the internet, brought SportsShoes.com to life, and that's been the way forward ever since. And we've grown that business from turning over, obviously, maybe £1 million back in the day through to now being £100 million, a number one destination for running in the UK.
Jon, so you have the role of Chief Technology Officer within the business. Can you tell us a little bit more about the role?
Yeah, sure. So as my role as Chief Technology Officer, I'm responsible for the day-to-day running and development of our app and our website, and also our back-end systems, which are important to get all our parcels that our customers order and get them dispatched to their homes, and all of the different ecosystem that surrounds that.
Jon, so since you joined the business, you've gone through a digital transformation. Could you tell us a little bit about that process and the success that you've achieved on that journey?
Yeah, sure. So to give some context, we started the journey 4 years ago. When I joined the business, there was a need actually for an app. When we came there, that was the first sort of ask from the business for us to deliver at that point in time. However, the actual technology stack wasn't ready to do that yet. So we had to just take a step back from that, and we decided that the best approach would be to build our new composable tech stack, because alongside wanting an app as a new channel, we also had a very legacy monolithic website at that particular point in time. So we went the composable route, taking the best of breed platforms for us at that particular point in time, new commerce platform, new search platform, new payments platform, and then built that sort of roadway, if you will, that not only would take us forward to be able to deliver the website, but also deliver all the infrastructure and middleware which would be needed to support an app or any other channels we might bring on in the future. And then since then, we've gradually transitioned all of our international websites first and foremost. So we took a very steady approach to that. We launched our UK website, and then we delivered the app broadly 3 months straight after that. So that just shows the success of working sort of in step with One Iota as a partner, where my team would build the APIs and the infrastructure, and then the One Iota team could then consume those APIs, knowing and trusting that they'd already been used in production.
So Jon, why did the business decide that a native app was right for SportsShoes?
So we have over 1 million members, which we call our Ultra members. And we wanted to create a platform in which we could provide more value to those customers and bring them more into our brand, more into our ecosystem, and make them sticky to us. So we wanted to bring to life in there more content, which is exclusive to the app, competitions, offers, giveaways, exclusives. So there will be a reason for those loyalist customers to use the app over the website. And it also gives us a path through to those customers with push notifications as well, which is a key part of our strategic aims.
So once you made the decision to, I guess, invest in an app, which options alongside One Iota did you consider?
Yeah, sure. So just generally, there are probably 3 avenues. There are the cookie cutter approach, which is you almost it's like getting a suit off the peg, but there isn't any customization for that. So for us, that would never work, because we have a really strong brand identity. We want to make sure that we have a high degree of control over the presentation of our brand, our products. So that, like I say, that's never going to work, but it is probably the quickest route to market. You've then got the other extreme, which is the do-it-yourself approach. at that point in time, you can imagine I'm just coming to the business, I'm just building a new team. I've already got a big project in terms of building an enterprise website and then delivering on that. It wouldn't really have been practical for me to bring in another team, all the costs involved in that, the effort involved in that, onboarding that team and then getting an app build. So again, that wasn't really something which was going to work for us at that particular point in time. Where One Iota come in is you've got the beauty of having, I would say, describe it as a set of Lego bricks that are already built. And you could take those Lego bricks and then pop them into your existing infrastructure that you've already built. But you do also have the ability to be able to customize the UI, use your composable tech stack, leverage what you've already invested in, such as we're using Prismic.io for our content. So that means I can lean on the tools we've already got in place, our search platform, which is Bloomreach, lean onto Bloomreach. So I could bring on that composable tech stack, but not having to reinvent the wheel. And also that gives us a quicker, not as quick a route to market as probably going and getting a suit off the peg, but certainly with a little bit of tailoring on that suit, we can get to market much quicker than do it yourself.
And Jon, what was the experience of working with One Iota like for launching the app?
Our teams very much worked in step. So there was a lot of regular communication calls, direct access on Slack with the team, talking directly to engineers actually, which is really, really refreshing. So you're talking to people who really understand the technology directly. So that was really good. Open, clear communication. And again, what made our lives a lot easier is we were building production-ready APIs. Our website was consuming those APIs, and once we got confidence, that could then be handed over to One Iota to leverage and then build on, which makes everyone's life so much easier because you're building on what is stable foundations.
So, Jon, you mentioned there about sort of the API approach. Did you find it sort of light touch technically and straightforward from your side?
I think the overall business of building a native app wasn't necessarily my concern, if you will, because that's what One Iota take from you, which is what I would want from their expertise. So they could focus on what they do great at, which is building those rich native apps, and we could then focus on what we do, which is to build all the infrastructure that sits behind that and the API library. So it's not a free lunch because you've got to actually build things which are going to be plugged into from multiple channels. So you do need to think about how you architect these solutions and make sure there are degrees of separation so that when you do want to bring in another channel, it is easy to plug in and you've not wedded it too much to our website, for instance. So not free lunch. You need to think about it a bit more, and there is probably overall a bit more development cost for doing it that way.
And so how has this sort of affected the team? Has there been any sort of increase in headcount, increase in costs in terms of managing the app?
I'd say no. Our team size has been very stable. Our web team's pretty small, to be honest. So we haven't had to increase any headcount. Again, One Iota absorb that. That's their expertise. And then we'll pay a management fee for that.
Great. And in terms of sort of reliability and scalability, how have you found the solution provided by One Iota?
I'd have to think very hard about a time where we'd ever had any downtime with the app in isolation to any other platforms. So I can't really fault it, to be honest. So no, I think it's been the uptime and reliability has been really great. I can absolutely say there's been zero situations where I've had to put a call into the One Iota team at a weekend or an evening or whatever, where there's been downtime, which has been the cause of the app in isolation.
Jon, you've seen massive growth in terms of the app since its outset. Obviously, from a standing start, you've seen some really sort of impressive metrics. Can you talk us through some of those metrics?
Yeah, sure. So I'd say first and foremost, the volume of downloads has far exceeded our expectations. So thinking we've been live now probably for 18 months, we're coming up on 300,000 downloads. So first of all, that's great. So people do see value in downloading that and putting it on their phone, which is the first obstacle. This can fluctuate, but it can generate up to 20% of our overall business. Again, it's numbers that we were not really expecting. And also, we can see visible differences in the average order values and purchase frequency of customers as well. And also the conversion rate is far in excess of what our website is. I think that's mainly because of the usability of the app, it being in your pocket, but also having your best customers on there also helps.
So, John, you mentioned about sort of best customers. It seems like there's quite a lot of customer love for the app. On the App Store, it's rating 4.8 out of 5. Can you share any of the sort of success stories you've had fed back through the app?
So we wanted to not just deliver an app which was about purchasing, because if you wanted to do that, customer can just do that on our website anyway. We wanted to bring something to the table which was a bit more than that, which was to engender that loyalty. And I think through the customers love our competitions that we run. So we get thousands of entries every week to the competitions that we offer, giveaways, exclusives. So that works incredibly well. And we also do a lot of lean forward content. So the first thing you see in the app is not come and buy this particular product. It's more read this article, which will give you more information about particular types of running or maybe particular types of products, etc. So that I think is what customers really like about the app. It's not just a selling tool.
And in terms of sort of spend and retention, what characteristics have you seen in terms of differences between app users compared to sort of typical website visitors?
I think what you can expect from the get-go, from what we've seen, is you're going to migrate your most valuable customers, who are the ones which have the behaviors that you want in terms of repeat purchase, overall spend, lifetime value, etc. They are going to move across to the app for sure that you provide for them, and that will be their new home. Now, typically how the web would work is, despite them being your most likely loyal customers, you may end up spending money reacquiring those customers again and again and again, just because of the attribution models that that Google and the like have. So with us with them having the app directly in their pocket and us using vehicles such as push notifications, we can talk to them directly without having all those associated costs for to acquire those customers, which is great. So you've got increased conversion rate, you've got increase your AOV, increase your how many orders people will make per annum, therefore increase their lifetime value. And then your marketing acquisition costs are far lower. So it's the holy grail, really. If we could migrate all our customers to our app, then that would be amazing.
You mentioned before, John, about sort of competitions and promotions driving traffic to the app. What are some of the sort of methods that you use to achieve this?
So from a competitions perspective, we tend to go down the route of money can't buy experiences. So they might be exclusive entries to races such as London Marathon. There might be things like particular kit deals from certain brands. And I suppose the overall premise is that we work with the world's biggest sporting brands, and they will provide us with these experiences as their chosen retailer to be able to offer them to our customers. And that works incredibly well. Like I say, the engagement on those things are actually excellent. Again, far surpassing what we'd probably expect.
And John, you've also connected to some sort of interesting sort of third parties like English Athletics and Vitality. Has that had an impact, and has that driven sort of traffic to the app?
Yes, sure. So over recent years, England Athletics has been a partner for a long time, and that sort of predates me. But in recent years, we've brought on Park Run as a key strategic partner, and Vitality being one of the largest healthcare providers in the country. And we've created deep links and connections within the app with those providers. and that actually gives customers the ability to redeem their discounts that they get from being members of those particular associations, and automatically apply those discounts that apply to them. Also, it opens up a whole new consumer base for us as well to talk to, which has been great. So yeah, those partners are fantastic, and again, it's been a key part of our strategic growth plan to leverage those relationships.
And John, obviously you're quite a specialist business. You've probably got quite a lot of sort of semi-technical technical customers and buyers. How have you used the app to enable them to find the right product and understand information really quickly?
Yes. So you could say that we're a content creation business that happens to be experts in running shoes. So what I mean by that is that I'll defy anyone to find a website which puts as much time, attention, care, and detail into their product presentation, the articles that they create, that we create and author, which are unique to us, and the product discovery journey, I think, is second to none, really. So I think it's all about making sure that those key technical details are there on the PDP. They are searchable on the PLP. For instance, stability, the type of terrain you want to run on, the cushion and comfort you're requiring from a shoe. And our great partners like also Bloomreach as well, from a search perspective, allow customers to discover products in that way. And more recently, we've been looking at other ways to improve that using large language models as well. So there'll be new changes coming to the site in 2026, which I think will enhance that product journey even more.
And from a performance metrics perspective, have you seen sort of other variables within the mix improve? So things like customer loyalty, things like average basket size, things like conversion. Have you seen any sort of positive impacts?
Yeah, so we did speak to that earlier, but yeah, just to sort of recap on that, AOV definitely up. Again, conversion definitely up. Repeat purchase up. I can't go into exact specifics, but yeah, and it's safe to say that those metrics on the app are way ahead of the website in general.
And I guess one of the real benefits of a native app is the ability to, I guess, talk directly to the customer through push notifications. How have you used that to sort of, I guess, increase your marketing and communications to your customers?
Yes, that's a very good vehicle. Well, first and foremost, it's free, which is great. We don't believe in overusing it. I think you've got to be really careful about what you say, when, and to whom, because you can certainly turn customers off very quickly. So we will use these messages sparingly and for things we know those customers will be interested in. And we hope to be able to improve that again in 2026 by having more knowledge about our customers, the things and products that they are interested in, and be able to talk to them more on a one-to-one relationship basis going forward to make sure we keep things relevant for those particular customers. I'm really excited about that for the future.
You've got quite some experience sort of developing this app and going through the process. So for your sort of peers and contemporaries, what 3 tips would you offer to them in terms of things that they should consider if they're looking to launch a native app?
Yeah, sure. So I'd say first and foremost, are your foundations sound technically in order to bring an app in place? So if you've already done the spade work, you've got your composables tech stack in place, you've already built the APIs, etc., you're in a great place to do this. There are always ways and means if you're not necessarily quite there yet, but it certainly is a lot easier if you've done that initial spade work. So number 1, foundations. Number 2, write down the goals that you intend to achieve with the app. What are your expectations for that? And make sure you've got a clear sort of commercial plan in order to make that work. So write down your goals, what your downloads you're expecting, what visitors per day you'd expect, what AOV would you expect, what conversion rates would you expect. So you've got something then to reflect on whether the project's been a success or not. And then thirdly, your go-to-market strategy is critical in order to make sure that you can grow those customers, bring those core customers across. And we use certain tactical elements of app exclusive offers, for instance, quite margin erosive, but in the long term, if you get those customers across, we can see definitely the metrics of those particular customers are way in front of what we'd have had they've not been migrated to the app. So you've kind of maybe got to take a bit of a hit short term in order for long term gain.
And John, you had some quite specific sort of drivers in terms of promotions, in terms of loyalty, so things like English athletics, vitality, park run. How important to you was it to invest in a sort of an app provider that could provide those bespoke elements?
Well, we end up going sort of full circle back to the beginning, don't we? Because that is when you ask me about the different approaches, you're not, if you go with the off the peg approach, you're not going to get these things. You end up having a lot to compromise with. But again, working with One Iota, these things which are special to us, important to us, we can put them in our development plan. The guys at One Iota can then build against those and then deliver them to us. So it helps us keep sort of the web proposition and the app proposition somewhat in step.
Perfect. Thanks, Jon.